Hey, everybody. Welcome to Around the Block. I'm Heather Holman with
Adria Goins.
Jacqueline Ferris.
We're glad you're here.
Yes.
What a game.
Oh, man. It was a great game. I just wish that it would have ended with a win.
It was a great game.
It was a great game. It was one of those iconic games that, you know, people are going to be talking about for a long time. But I just wish that we would have been on the winning side of it. But
double overtime, 122 to 115.
Yeah.
Bummer because it was at home. I was hoping we could at least win our first two home games.
Winning at home is like so important, especially during, these final games. So,
yeah.
So it was a heartbreaker.
I know. We play again Wednesday. But yes, last night, I think my pets heard me scream 20 times.
Yeah, right?
But Caruso was on fire last night.
He was incredible.
Yes, he
played really, really well. And, some of our players that we rely on a lot, that they did not play as great as, they haven't. They still played great, but not as great as they have in the past. So when they get back on track, I saw a statistic that during the finals last year, they lost their first game to Indianapolis, and then they lost their first game to the Nuggets in one of the conference series. So all is not lost.
No, it's just one game.
It's just one game. And they're gonna, rebound just fine.
Right. I think so too.
I think it's good to get the loss out of the way.
And I told Kent I told him, I said, Wemby is gonna come out and play lights out because he's gonna have a chip on his shoulder. That he didn't win the MVP. He's gonna be mad. And he did. 41 points.
That guy is 7'4".
Isn't it crazy?
Yes. That a human being can operate. I would be afraid I'd fall over. I'm so close to the ground right now that I'd be scared of heights if I were that tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's way up there looking down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's such a tall guy. Like he can just he doesn't even have to jump to dunk the ball.
No. And they were talking about that last night too. They're like, did his feet even leave the floor?
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it really was.
So what a heartbreaker.
But the good news is that when we do go on the road, so Friday and Sunday, Loud City will be open, and it's Thunder Loud City Live coming back. And what that means is you can go to the Paycom Arena and watch on the big screens the Thunder play in San Antonio.
And that sells out really, really quickly for those away games. So if you're considering doing that, their tickets are only $10. But if you're considering doing that, make sure that you register or buy those early because they do sell really, really quickly and they pack that place.
They are jamming.
I know. So that's exciting. That is it. I think that's makes for a great atmosphere if you got all your fans in one spot and can enjoy it and cheer for each other. And I think that's a good thing that they have that.
It's so neat too to get to go to something like that.
Yeah.
It's just the camaraderie of everybody there.
Yeah. And you're in the arena, like you're getting to feel like almost a game type vibe. So that's pretty cool.
And our Thunder players know that they have such huge support at home too. That people who care so much, they're going to the Paycom to watch instead of just watching it on TV. But we encourage you also to watch it on TV because it'll be on Channel 4.
Yes, watch it on Channel 4, which you'll still have to watch it on Channel 4 inside the Paycom, wouldn't you?
I don't know how the satellite broadcast goes from NBC.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah. So watch Wednesday right here on News 4 and then, watch it the other nights.
Yeah.
Even if you're in the Paycom Center on Channel 4.
And a couple more Thunder-related stories for you. At the airport, if you went yesterday, you got to see everyone decked out, from the police officers there to everyone working concessions, even out there on the tarmac. But that's behind the scenes.
At the airport.
Shoe shiner.
Oh, they were so pumped. Can you imagine being a Spurs fan coming in on a flight and seeing all that? Even the airports, decked out in Thunder. But
yeah, you saw some pilots and flight attendants there.
That is so awesome.
Blue door.
I love it.
It's so great to see all this.
It's
support.
so fun to see all the love and everything,
Right.
for the Thunder right now. So great.
That one gave me anxiety where she's holding the flag in front of the jet engine.
Yeah.
Watch them turn the plane on. Yeah, yee. But that's really cool to see. And then
Yeah.
also we got to talk to the barber who does the hair for some of the Thunder players before
Yes.
each game. And he says, first of all, his name is Keo Sanchez. And he says that he does Chet, Isaiah Hartenstein, AJ Mitchell, Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, many more. It all started with Jay Will.
Mm-hmm.
Jay Will was trying to find a barber when he was playing in Arkansas and he was drafted to the NBA and coming to Oklahoma City. He wanted to find a barber. So this man in Kansas was referred to him.
Mm-hmm.
So the man in Kansas, who is Keo Sanchez, would drive down specifically to do Jay Will's hair. And then it spread to all the other Thunder players who wanted to go. And so now he cuts everyone's hair before trims it. He doesn't do the braids. He trims it before each game. And he says, if you were to guess which two players would have their hair done every day if they could.
Huh.
Chet.
You might think that. I can see that.
Well, I mean, Jay Will, maybe since he's the one that made him essentially move to Oklahoma City. Maybe even Isaiah Joe, since they're buds.
Okay, so it's the two Isaiahs, Isaiah Hartenstein and Isaiah Joe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He cuts their hair the most, and he said they are all about their hair. They would be in every day if they could.
Really? That's awesome. Now, he moved to Oklahoma City essentially to cut hair for those players.
Yeah, just 2 months ago, he moved from Kansas, so he'd stop having to drive down. But also, he's open to the public. You can find him on Instagram, and his name is Keo from the Shop.
Nice.
And it's SHOPP. You can find him on Instagram there if you'd like to book your own haircut.
How cool is that?
And you can probably get some Thunder tea out of him, too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
That's
they
pretty nice.
spill all the tea.
Yeah.
Or maybe he signed an NDA saying, if you cut my hair, you can't say any of the secrets. Because barbershop and salon talk is
man.
you get all the juicy
Oh, yeah.
details.
And I guarantee you, he signed an NDA because he told us he did sign one.
Oh, did he?
When it came to his contract. He couldn't talk to us about that.
Yeah.
But super neat job. How fun to always
is
be able
cool.
to say, even when you're 90 years old, back in my day.
I used to cut Jay Will's hair.
I know, that's so cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
What a great job. All right, when we come back, Edmond water rates are going up and way, way, way up.
Oh.
We'll tell you how much next. Well, if you live in Edmond, you know that prices for water there are already so high. In fact, Adria did a story on it a couple of years ago about how high the rates are compared to other municipalities. And now we've learned that Edmond water rates are going to increase by a lot, not a little.
No, like almost $50 over the stretch of, essentially
month.
3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, $50 per month. So first year it's $18. The second year it's an additional $18, and then $3 to $4 for the next 2 years additionally. So another $10. So almost $50 in 4 years that it's going to be tacked onto your monthly bill.
Yep.
And it's just ridiculous.
Mhm. And the city says the increase is due to relying solely on water from the Arcadia Lake Water Treatment Plant rather than buying water from Oklahoma City. I'd like to know what the cost would be if we bought water from Oklahoma City.
Yeah, because Oklahoma City water customers pay somewhere around $3, $3.50, and ours is $8 in Edmond.
Mhm.
People that live in Edmond around $8. That's one of the most expensive water rates in the entire
And that's
state.
current. That's without the rates.
Current. That is
Oh,
current.
goodness.
And so it's going to go up so much more. And I live in Edmond, and I'm frustrated because it's already way too expensive.
Mhm.
And there's always, a lot of talk. I don't know if it's true or not, but there's a lot of talk that maybe they're setting themselves up for potentially, how the whole data center situation is spreading in a lot of communities in Oklahoma. People are questioning it and wondering if it's beneficial. I think maybe, who knows, maybe they might say, well, what if this happens in the future? Maybe we'll be set up for that. Who knows? But regardless, it's too expensive.
Mhm. Now, I will say we have a lot of people in Edmond, and we have a lot of people continuing to move into
Yes.
Edmond because everywhere you look, they continue to build new neighborhoods
Yes.
all the time. So the same infrastructure that we've had for years and years and years, I say we because I live there too, obviously, but there is some new construction finally on Kelly and Danforth area to to basically meet the demand, I guess, because there are so many people. The city continues to grow. So with all of those people, yeah, I mean, we're going to be using
Sure.
more water, but let's look at and I'm sure they have. I'm sure they've looked at the cost of buying from Oklahoma City versus these increases, knowing that people hate increases and knowing that people already say the water rates are so high. I'm sure this wasn't an easy thing to have to break the news to the public, but
you're also
here it
at some
is.
point you're pricing people out
Yeah.
of moving to Edmond or living in Edmond in general. It's already a fairly expensive city. And now you're to the point where you're tacking on an additional cost to a lot of people that may live there on fixed incomes or, it's just
with the rate of everything going up, gas, food, everything that you can think of. And now the water too, when paychecks aren't going up, you're right. They're definitely pricing people out. I mean, that is a huge chunk. That's a whole other bill that they're tacking onto a current bill.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not going to go back down.
No.
It's not going to go back down.
No.
I mean, how many times do you say, okay, well, the infrastructure has been built at Arcadia Lake. We are good to go. We're going to start dropping it down another, $18 next and then another 18. It's not going down.
I've never heard of that.
No. So it's frustrating.
It's very frustrating because the bills just keep on coming and then they just want to tack onto them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's like you can't catch a break on some things, but I am not a city employee. I am not, a city council person. I was not at the meetings. But I do already know as a resident there, it's already too expensive. And it's something I wish they would have gone a different route.
It's absolutely way too expensive already.
Yeah.
Okay, when we come back, a man with hiccups. We've told you about him before, an Oklahoma man. He's had hiccups for years. They finally found a solution. We'll tell you what next.
Welcome back to Around the Block on this Tuesday. Gosh, it was rain. Did you get woken up by the storms this morning?
I heard the storms.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love to be able to lie in bed when there's thunder outside and not have to get up, but I had to get up.
I know.
It's time for school.
You could hear it too, Jacqueline?
I did.
Yeah.
Let me just say this really quickly because I realized on the way back from school, from taking my daughter to school, that tomorrow will be the last day that I ever take a child to school. And
oh my gosh, are you okay?
And I teared up driving home. I was like, and I'm like tearing up right now.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow will be the very last day that I take my youngest child to school before she starts driving. And now I'm crying.
Oh my God. It's so sad.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
Because you realize along the way of you don't realize a lot of times when things end, you don't realize that day, this is ending, this, and then you look back, oh yeah, I never had to do that again or this again.
Right.
But I realized it. It hit me right in the face when I was driving home. I was like, tomorrow is the very last day.
Oh,
and that's so sad because my kids are growing up.
I know. Sorry, I did not mean to make you cry. But I feel you. Like
it's
I totally feel. Yes, I totally feel you. It's such a sad. You just. There's times where you think if they ask me to drop them off at the soccer field one more time,
right.
And then you get to this point where you're like, please let me take you to the soccer field. Please let me take you to school. Please let me. You know what you need to do? You just need to ground her. You need to say, I'm taking away your car.
Right.
know.
I'm still going to make some rules though. I'm still going to say you cannot be gone all the time. When I was in high school, I was gone all the time.
Yeah.
Like I worked. I'd see my friends. I'd go see my boyfriend. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go to different Bible studies. I'd go to church during the week. And it was like I was never home.
Yeah.
And I would come home late at night and do my homework and say goodnight to my parents. And I'm like, I'm going to tell my kids, you're not allowed to do that.
No, I feel that same way. Like set some ground rules where you have to at least eat dinner with us or something.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
for sure
it's a taste of freedom and they'll, and you want them to have that independence and you want them to have that freedom. At the same time, you don't want them to let go and leave you.
I know. Anyway, it was just one of those life moments where tomorrow, I almost want to take a picture of her at school with me and just be like,
you
she'll
should.
be like, Mom, no, we are not doing that.
You totally should.
You need a carpool selfie for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
I'm
Get a
not
selfie
still
in the
crying,
car.
just so you know. I'm just trying to wipe the tears away.
Sorry,
The
Heather, we
original
made you
tears.
cry.
No, I made myself cry. I told you the story.
I feel for you though. Like, well, we
Yeah.
shouldn't. I know. I feel for you. Okay, let's go to something a little bit less tearful.
Traumatic.
Yeah, and more joyful
Okay.
at this point now. It was not joyful before, but we've told you this story about this guy named Richard Flores, and he's a Metro man who has had the hiccups for a very long time. It's a medical mystery, nonstop hiccups. He started hiccups in 2013, and then they've been a permanent symptom since 2021, and he can't figure out what's going on. He's gone through all
That would be
kinds of
terrible.
yes, right? All kinds of tests, all kinds of questions for doctors and referrals, and can't figure it out. So he's gotten to the point where he has chest pains, shortness of breath. He's burping constantly too with his hiccups.
Oh,
And
gosh.
and he's reached the end of his rope as far as accessibility and affordability is concerned. So he came to News 4, and Caitlin Ogle did a story to share his, condition. And after our story aired, a lot of people reached out to him, and he finally found a surgeon at the Cleveland Clinic who specializes in this. And he's having surgery on a nerve that deals with his diaphragm, essentially. And they think that this could be the solution to his problem. And he has surgery in the coming weeks.
I just can't even imagine the relief he'll feel. He'll be like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, it doesn't seem real. Are you sure I'm not going to hiccup? And he'll have
Yeah.
to wait it out, to make sure that it doesn't come back. But just the relief that he would feel after years of having that. I mean, good grief.
Yeah, I can't.
2021 till now.
Isn't that insane? Almost, 5 years, essentially 5 years. My kids will get the hiccups. And then my daughter will be like, I have the hiccups. And then, I don't know, a minute or two later, I'll just scream really loud in the front seat that we'll be driving, and I'll just go, because screaming
Without warning,
without warning, I'll just scream as loud as I possibly can. And Gabby's like, I said, did it work? Did I scare the hiccups out of you? And she's like, I don't know, hold on. Nope, didn't work. But I try every single time, and it never works. But could you imagine like hiccuping like that constantly?
No. Oh my gosh,
Oh.
that would be a nightmare. That would be like a sentence that you get from a judge, or you are to hiccup for the next 5 years,
Right.
Because that would be just terrible.
Yeah.
And I would think it would hurt your chest too, all day long.
Yeah.
Or your diaphragm or something.
When Caitlin did the story with him, he was having the issue while they were talking, and he said, I'm out of breath. I'm like, it's very difficult for me to breathe right now. And he said, it's scary because sometimes he's like, I don't know how I'm going to catch my breath again, because I just couldn't live like that.
Right.
So I'm so glad that someone saw the story
Mhm.
and had similar problems, or knew of someone that had similar problems. So that way they could say, here's who you need to talk to.
Yeah.
And they got into the Cleveland Clinic where they can get some help.
Clearly he is in the right hands, and clearly there's nothing that he could have done that he hadn't already tried to take him away. But what does work for me is that if I hold my breath, and while holding your breath, you swallow 3 times, then you let that out, hold your breath again, swallow 3 times, and usually by the second time they're gone.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Works
I
for
have
me every
never
time.
tried that.
Yeah, you should try it.
I've tried to drink water upside down, because I heard that works too. I don't know if you've heard that or not. I've also heard that if you stand on your head, that helps. Where you just stand upside
I
down.
would think that water would shoot right out your nose.
Well, I mean, you don't stand on your head with the water in your mouth. It's like you're supposed to take the cup and then you try to drink it like upside down. I don't know. It was what my brother and sister used to tell me worked back whenever I was little, and we've tried it a number of times. And of course, everything they say is the gospel whenever you're a little kid. So that carries along with you as an adult. And, obviously the scaring, you just heard scaring,
right?
But nothing has ever seemed to really work to get rid of
hitting
it.
somebody on the back really hard. I think might be another one of them.
Yeah.
You could try the Heimlich, because that really affects your diaphragm right there.
Yeah, true. We'll have to try that next time we get hiccups. Let me know. I'll come over and I'll give you the Heimlich.
Well, okay.
in the
deal.
middle of the newsroom. Could you imagine? That would be so awesome.
Please don't.
Next time anybody gets the hiccups, we're
Just
all
make
going
sure
to try.
that I hadn't eaten right before. That could have turned into a very embarrassing moment.
Oh, that would be fun in the newsroom. We're going to be making our little hiccups, our plan as to what really works. We're going
Yeah,
to get
We'll
it
try it
figured
all.
out. Yeah.
We'll try it.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back with your bizarre holidays right after this. Hey, really quickly, I want to tell you how Yukon Schools has announced its summer meals program. You know, just a couple more days left of school for a lot of kids. Some people are already out. They wanted to let you know how they're going to be able to feed some kids over the summer. So we wanted to pass along the information to you. Meals will be handed out to kids 18 and under without charge. This is free of charge. You don't have to be a Yukon student to take part in this, which is, I think, the important information. Just the only catch is the meal has to be eaten on site. So you have to sit there and eat it while you're there. Breakfast and lunch offered at Yukon High and Yukon Intermediate starting June 1st, which is in about 2 weeks, and it runs through July 24th. Breakfast from 7:30 to 9. Lunch is from 11 to 12:30. So if you've missed the information, we put it at kfor.com as well. So that way, if you know somebody that might need some breakfast or lunch kiddos during the summertime, you can go check it out.
All right.
Bizarre holidays today: National Band Directors Day.
Ooh, National Be a Millionaire Day. I'll take that.
Me too.
National High Heel Day.
Ooh,
National Juice Slush Day.
National Pick Strawberries Day.
National Quiche Lorraine Day.
Yum.
Okay. National Rescue Dog
Oh,
Day.
National Streaming Day, which is what we're doing right now.
And World Bee Day.
World
Right.
Bee Day. Save the bees.
Bring on the honey.
That's right, honey. We want to thank you for joining us on your Tuesday. Hope you have a fabulous day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Have a good one.